Okay, I've gone and done something really silly and bought my dream car. I don't know why now, thinking about it. No, I saw this on eBay. It's probably one of the cheapest 928s you're going to get. £4 it was. Generally, when they're that cheap, the body is totally knackered and the interior is horrendous. But as you can see by this, the interior, it's not, the outside is not perfect, but it's pretty tidy. I'll just show the inside, give you some sort of idea. So, aftermarket steering wheel, but I kind of like the look of that, and pretty much everything's there. Interior seats, they'll all retreat and clean up. Not too worried about them. I think it's been painted at some point. It's not a perfect job, but I think for the time being it'll clean up quite nice. But yeah, it's the thing that attracted me to it most was that it's tax exempt and MOT exempt because it's an 81. Not that it really looks it, because they don't look much different. Reason it was so cheap, obviously you're wondering why. It smokes like a chimney. It really does. I've had done a few checks on it. I was hoping it was valve stem oil seals, but I've read online if you sort of take these runners off, if there's oil in here, then it's not valve stem oil seals because it's before there. I've had these breather pipes off here, and this is just a temporary thing. I've tried to get the breather to go somewhere else just so it wasn't going in the engine, see if it made any difference, but it's got a lot of pressure, chucking a load of oil out of there. Has got a little bit too much oil in, but I was hoping that was the issue, but I don't think it is. You run it for sort of 5 or 10 minutes and the washer bottle's pressurised quite quickly and it stays there, which ain't good. I've done a compression test on it. I was going to try and be a bit leery and put one of these head gasket fixing sort of liquids in, but I don't see the point because it's a car I'm hoping to keep, or at least keep for a good while, so I want it to be reliable. I've done a compression test. I think online they say between 140 and 175. I think 3 of these were 125, which is on the low side. 2 were 200, which is strange. So there's obviously a bit of issue with the compression side of it. So I think it's coming out. Apparently you can take the heads. I mean, you can see where the head is there. That's the head. Well, that's the cam carrier, and then the head is underneath there. Apparently you can take it all out with it in. The only issue is to get, if I'm going to go that far, I want to put rings in it and stuff and check the bores, make sure the bores aren't scored before I spend any money on the top end. You can't get the sump off, I don't think, without lifting it up or dropping the subframe. But looking at it, I don't fancy examining the bores right down inside there. The wings are so bloody wide, leaning over. My back's hurting already. It's you know, leaning in down there, working down there is not my best idea, really. I'm just in the process of taking the exhaust off, because the exhaust is absolutely full of oil. I'll just put it up in the air. I think it's been modified, the exhaust. I think it's had a silencer removed from the back. I mean, things like brakes and stuff, the brakes work, it does drive, goes in the gears, etc. I believe it's only done, I think, 200 miles since it was last MOT, so I'm assuming whatever happened to it happened just after it had been MOT. But like I say, mechanically, I'm hoping it's not horrendous, but it's an old car at the end of the day, as we know. Let's get up in the air. I've had a good look underneath, and I'm not sure, I think some of it is aluminium, I believe, some of the panels are. But underneath wise, engine's a bit oily, but you know, what do you expect really? But no real signs of any corrosion. You can see where it's been chucking the oil out. I think the only bad thing I've noticed is, you can't probably see there, some of these fuel pipes, not so much there, it's had a join there. Some of the fuel pipes where it disappears in there are pretty ropey, so maybe not right now, but at some point they're gonna have to be changed. But yeah, but the gearbox doesn't look too wet. This carrier business here that sort of holds a fuel tank in is kind of falling apart a bit. It's doing its job now, but I may end up just making something for that. Basically, it's only a strap to hold the fuel tank in. It's not, it ain't rocket science. Battery tray's got a bit of corrosion on the bottom corners, as you'd expect, but nothing major. I mean, this exhaust looks like it's been sort of modified and stitched up a bit, but I think maybe there should be a silencer here, because it looks like there's a heat shield. I don't know. It looks like they've cut something out in this area, but it looks like a decent bore exhaust. So as you can see, the amount of oil in the exhaust. I'm going on the assumption, because the compression's down so much, the rest of the compression's going somewhere. So I'm assuming it's going into it's blowback from the piston. And that's pressurising the engine, because if it's ticking over, it's not horrendous, but if you rev it, it squashes a load of oil up. So I could piss about trying to drain the oil and put the exact right amount of oil in and do it, but the fact some of the oil that comes out the top breather, it looks a bit creamy as well, and the compression just makes me a little bit suspicious. I mean, it's had some through. You see, I don't know what they've tried to do. I think they've tried to repair this spoiler. Probably bits like this you can't get. I mean, I can remedy that. That's not an issue. Quite know what they've done. Looks like they've painted over with stone chip and it's flaked off. Maybe that's the case. But it's pretty straight as far as they go. I'm not sure if they're the original wheels. I believe they look like GTS ones, like the later Porsches have. The 90s ones tend to have these on. I think this should have the flat ones, the sort of really flat ones with the little holes around the edge. But these actually do look all right. They sort of modernise it a bit. I mean, the size of the back tyres is crazy. 225s, but they're only 17-inch wheels, which is mad, really. But yeah, you can see that I've actually drilled a hole in this to get some of the oil out. You can see it's just leaving puddles everywhere it goes. It's got looks like it's got a new fuel pump. I think there should be some kind of cover there. When I've seen them before, there's some kind of plastic cover or something that goes over there, which I'll have to sort out. But it looks like it's had a new fuel pump and filter, which is good, because I think it's a dead common thing for the filter and fuel pump to pack up when they've been stud. It's been stud since 2014, I believe. I mean, tyres wise, to be fair, the tyres look pretty good. It's just whether do I risk, the 2014 tyres, I think, do I risk using it for a bit? I probably will for a bit, but I'm probably going to put some new tyres on it, because, potentially you could do 150 mile an hour and you don't want a tyre blowing out at that. But there's a bit of corrosion, as you can see. Look, I don't know if that's aluminium, the door, or what, but it's not horrendous at the end of the day. It's not horrendous. For the age of the car, it's not bad at all. A couple of bits on the roof, just round the top of the windscreen. It's got cross groove discs. But like I said, the brakes aren't stuck on, and they do seem to work, and the pads and stuff all look good. So I'm hoping that side of things. Probably not going to MOT this one. I'm probably just going to get it on the road and check it over. I might put it in from the MOT place and get him to look it over, but not do a test on it, because I don't want to not be using it. If there's anything wrong with it, I'll sort it, but I don't want to have to take it off the road. But we shall see. But yeah, the lump looks fairly excessive. It looks like I can just take off. I think I can leave the manifolds on. Looking at that, I think I can undo this joint here, because the manifolds are actually slimmer than the actual hole it's got to come out. So I believe that comes with that. I think I've got to take this cover off here. I think the torque tube, it's like a prop shaft, I think. The torque tube, you could just undo a sleeve and it comes off. I believe that's how it works, but it'll become apparent. But I'll be videoing most of it, through the stages. I've decided to probably just take the engine out, get it on a stand, so I can spin it over and you know, have a good look at the balls and stuff. Worst scenario, I mean, heads I'm not bothered about because I can get them fixed, or I can get new heads or used heads, recon ones, pistons and things like that. It should be okay, hopefully. It's more the block. I think the blocks, I think it's like an aluminium block, or alu, I can't remember what they call it, the special word, but I believe if the block's really scored, you can't sort of just hone it out. You've got to put sleeves in it, I believe, which I can probably get done, but I can't imagine that being cheap. So it may be a case, if that's the case, I might look for a cheaper engine just for the bottom end, just for the block, and then build one up on that. Might be actually cheaper. But yeah, so we do these silly things, but like I say, I've wanted, well, you know, 911 or one of these. I think I mean, these are just a bit more rarer and a bit more. And the fact that you've not got to pay a horrendous amount of tax on it is tempting me quite a lot, because, you know, the Caymans and whatever, which I do like, they're, you know, £600-700 tax a year, which is, it's just madness really for something that, you know, I'm not going to use it every day. I use it at weekend, come to work now and again, 12-mile round trip. I'm not going to go to Cornwall in it. I'm not going to go to Portsmouth in it. You know, if I've got a diesel I can use for that, so it's not too much of a problem. But so yeah, so I may regret it, but I think the way I figure it, it's got to be worth more than I paid for it in bits. Because I think people, you know, engines that are non-runners, people are trying to sell 1,500 quid. The wheels are probably £1,000. So, you know, you add up all the interior bits and stuff, and the dash and stuff's pretty good, and the interior's good. So you add all the bits up and the gearbox and whatever. I think I'm well above what I paid for it, or if not, you know, break even. So that's the plan so far. So I'll be taking all the exhaust off. I'm going to stand that up outside and let it drain, and then I'm going to have to jet wash that out because it's absolutely full of oil. Then disconnect everything I can see underneath, and then take a lot of stuff on the top. I mean, there's a lot of injection stuff on the top. I'm hoping, what I'm ideally liking to do is just leave all that on and take the engine out with all that on, just disconnect everything around it. So then basically when it's on the engine stand and I can swivel it round, I can take photos as I take it